All right, welcome back to True Crime Loser. Coming to you from my hotel room in New Orleans, the Overflow Hotel, where zero of the fun and the action is. Okay, so I got here, checked into my hotel, and they said I couldn't check in till 4, but they were like, there are some rooms available, and for a $25 early raping check-in fee, we can get you right into a room. And I was like, yeah, all right, just get it over with. And so I got into a room, dropped my stuff down, walked the 6 minutes to the Hilton Riverside. It's a really nice hotel. It's huge. From the outside, it a little bit looks like a prison, which I don't know if that's why they picked it, but it's this huge, nice hotel right on the water. And you go in, and there's like this really nice bar area, and it's like the bartenders are in the middle, and there's all the bars a square around it, and all these tables and stuff. And then you go to the right, and you start seeing all of the CrimeCon 2019 stuff. And then I went in, and I went up to like get my badge, and they were like, this lady was like, yeah, you came at the best time. And I was like, why? And she goes, but 10 minutes ago, there was a line around the block, and I just was the only one there. And so I get my badge. They give you like a bag. Where is it? I'll show you guys later. So you get like a badge and a bag full of stuff. They give you like a little plastic knife. I don't know where that is going to come into play. But, so then you walk by. There's like, again, it's all this like CrimeCon 2019. It's all decorated. And then there was like a TV studio set up. I think people in the comments from the videos I've been posting have been saying they're like going live from CrimeCon. So there's this whole TV cameras and lights, CrimeCon 2019. I was like, that's probably where Nancy Grace is going to talk over somebody. And then you go into this other little corridor, and then to the left is just the biggest conference convention room I've ever seen. And it's just as many seats as I don't know how many people are here, but just tons of chairs. And then it's like CrimeCon, the logo and all these screens and stuff. And they're playing like Dave Matthews Band and OAR and like Backstreet Boys and stuff. And I was like, we're in fucking New Orleans. Why are we listening to OAR? I know a lot of people got murdered, and this is like a lot of crimes that we're talking about this weekend that are horrible, but that has got to be the worst one of the weekend. I want to do a talk tomorrow night called The Worst Crime of the Weekend. We listen to OAR. We're in New Orleans. This is arguably the greatest music town in the world. We could have thrown on some Dr. John, maybe a little Professor Longhair, maybe a little Stanton Moore trio. I don't know, anything. Next year, I want to be the pre-music opening ceremony. But everyone's filing in. It's like it really is people from all walks of life, which I didn't know what to think, because it's like if you go to like a fish festival or something, everyone kind of looks the same, right? But it's not like that. It's like all age groups, all different types. It's like hipster types, or like almost like comic book looking types, all the way to like athletic looking type. I don't know, just the whole, I can't even explain it. All ages, everything, which is cool, which is I always think is kind of what the Schmida fam is. It's like, kind of looks like the comments of one of my videos. It's like everything you could think of is in there. So I sit down towards the back, right? We're just listening to, it was a crazy game of poker. This song sucks in 8th grade. Yeah, we're listening to Dave Matthews and God knows what else. And they should have done like a little live jazz band or something. That would have been awesome. I actually came to a comedy festival here like 5 years ago, right? My friend Danny Palmer in New York. He's a comedian. He was like, I'm doing this comedy festival in New Orleans. I know the lady, Yvonne. She's running it. And if I tell her to let you in, you could come. Do you want to do it? And I was like, yeah, sure. And so we fly all the way down here, and we get to the comedy festival, and it's like a packed house. And she's like talking to everybody, all the comedians, and she's like, Scott Sharp? And I was like, yeah, that's me. She's like, all right, you're going first. So I'm the first comedian of the whole festival, which is, I think, probably not considered a great spot. But I was like, yeah, all right. And then so the audience is just packed, and they're ripping to go, and there's this energy like a festival is beginning, like it's comedy, we're ready to laugh. Then the lady Yvonne was like, yeah, I'm going to actually start off right before I put you on. I'm going to start with my improv team is going to improv for a little bit to like open things up, and then we're going to bring you on. And I was like, yeah, great, perfect. And this fucking lady with her improv troupe proceeds to go up and do 35 minutes of incoherent long-form improv, and the energy that was in the audience after that 30 whatever minutes was just gone. Everybody was like, what are we doing here? This is awful. Did we pay money for this festival? How many days is this festival? Like, I was pacing back and forth being like, let me up there because this is going horribly. And they're like doing the stupid improv thing like, oh, cheerio, look at me. I'm driving a car. Haven't written a punchline ever, but I'm an improver. Hello. And just talking in, I don't know what's, improvers love horrible accents. And, but the point of this whole thing is they had like a live jazz band that was like the pre-music for everything that I thought was really good. But anyway, then that ended and everybody was like, And then she brought me up, and I went up there, and the microphone didn't work. It was broken, and I just was like, I came all the way down here from New York City, and there's no microphone, and that got everyone laughing. I was like, I should have just stayed home. I'm gonna leave after this. This is the worst comedy festival in the world. And everyone just started really laughing when I started ripping on the festival, just being like, did she just improv for a half hour? But anyway, so I was just like kind of ripping on her, which is the lady that started the whole festival. So then she, after my set, wouldn't look at me the rest of the weekend, and I got horrific spots the rest of the weekend because it was like multiple venues and stuff. And she asked Danny, my friend, she was like, what's the deal with that guy? Why is he just trying to shit on the festival? But, my point is we were listening to Dave Matthews Band today, and it's like we gotta put on a little Dr. John, or have like there's 10 million piano players in this city that would have loved to just play a little intro music. But anyway, no big deal. And then the lights dim in this huge convention, and you hear woo, everybody's pumped up, and they do this like clip show with intense music of all the crazy cases this year. So like Cosby and Chris Watts, and they have this like all the cases, and everyone's cheering. It's like Cosby gets found guilty, and everyone's like, woo! It's cracking me up. And then it'd like show a clip of Nancy Grace being like, yeah, just doing whatever she does. And then I don't know who the guy that opened it up was, but everybody else knew him because he got a standing ovation. I think he works in law enforcement, but he's this dude gets up, does like the opening, welcome to CrimeCon. CrimeCon last year was this big. This one, look how big this one is. Everyone's like, woo! And did a pretty nice speech that was saying like a lot of the victims' families and stuff are here. And so to, keep it respectful. Don't show up dressed as your favorite killer. I like buttoned up not showing my North Carolina Tar Heels shirt. Better leave the basketball shorts and sandals at home. But they're like, don't dress up like your favorite serial killer and be respectful. And then, yeah, have some fun. And then so it breaks, and I wasn't ready for the mad dash, and I had no idea. I hadn't explored. I didn't know where any of the ballrooms were. So I was like, yeah, I'll make my way to the art of the interrogation. and it was just like a stampede. Luckily, I was near the back, so I sort of just got herded. It was by far the most popular one in the morning. I kind of just got herded all the way up, like in the front of this line. It was kind of funny. There's an escalator going up to where all of the presentations are, and an escalator coming down like they normally do. And there's the whole CrimeCon. Everybody that's here was waiting to go up, and the one going up broke, so everyone's walking up the one, and then there's like one person riding down. It just looked absurd. But so we get in. I get into the smaller room, and it's what are their names? I thought they did a pretty good job. Jeff Rennick and Marlise Strong. And Jeff, he's an FBI interrogator. If I turn this way, does it get weird? The lighting get weird? Jeff is an FBI interrogator, and Marlise Strong is a true crime writer, and they put out a book together about the Carrie Stainer, right? Yeah, Stainer. Carrie Stainer case, which I hadn't heard about, but a lot of people in the room had. And what it is in 1999, and if you're really interested in the Carrie Stainer case, go and look it up, because I just listened to them say it once, so this is just going to be the gist of it. But Carrie Stainer killed, I think, 4 people brutally, like kids, and I think there was like a sexual aspect to it, but in Yosemite National Park in 1999, cut one of their heads off, just completely brutal. And this guy that was doing the talk, Jeff, is the agent that got the confession out of him. And so they set up the backstory where he sets up kind of where he's coming from career-wise, and then she talks about being a true crime writer and stuff like that. And then they take turns doing the backstory of this Carrie Stainer case, moving up to the interrogation. And I get the feeling that they may have spent a little bit too much time on the backstory. And he even said, he looked at his watch at one point and was like, "Gah," and was like, I usually give this presentation in 3 hours, but we only have an hour, so I got to leave a lot of stuff out, and we'll just get to the... And so we didn't go over too much of the art of the interrogation. The main kind of point with him, and it was cool listening to both of them. And I guess the Reid method, R-E-I-D, is the most common method, or he said used a lot in interrogation. And that's like you isolate the person, you kind of beat them up, you pretend that you know everything already, and they're just there for like we've seen that before. Like, we know already, we know, okay, we're just doing this, we want you to say it, like that type of... And his theory, and I think, like I said, he kind of had to rush through it at the end, but I think his different strategy is, he was like, I find value in everybody, so he goes more with instead of taking away value from the person being interrogated, like being like, you fucking perv, like you're gonna confess, or I'm gonna, you're gonna whatever, just like threats and everything. He more goes with the tactic of and we've seen this, Jim Smith uses this, but he more goes with the tactic of giving them value, being like, you're the one person that can put closure to all these families and these victims. You're the one that you have a gift to tell us all the information. That's a gift that you have. And only you can give that away. And just think and it's a crazy story, but this Carey guy, the one that was the serial killer, his brother was kidnapped at a young age by 2 guys and made to be their sex slave for 7 years. And then as he got older, after 7 years, it was too old for these guys. They liked kids. So then they kidnapped another kid, and the kid that had grown up there didn't want what happened to him, the 7 years of sex slave, to happen to the new kid. So he grabbed the new kid and they booted out, and that's how. And so, but obviously they were never the same. But then his brother, the guy that was kidnapped for 7 years, his brother was also molested or something horrible. And then he became a serial killer that in Yosemite. This is queso. It's like, damn, starting out with the real uplifting cases. But it was good. It was, let me see if I wrote down anything else. Then it ended with, they let us listen to a 10-minute clip and it might be on YouTube, but we listened to a 10-minute clip of him confessing. And, another big part of getting the confession was with the whole going back to the, like, adding value instead of beating him up and taking value is they went and arrested him. He was at a nudist colony at the time, and Jeff made a pretty funny joke that he was like, we were going into the nudist colony and we didn't know whether to, like, go in naked with our guns or, something like that. It was pretty funny. And the audience in this presentation was great. It was like, like laughing, and everyone's like so into it. And like, he was like, is there any questions? And like, people were like, couldn't even contain themselves, just like waving. So like a lot of participation, which was cool. And, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. So they arrested him at, or went and got him to bring him in for interrogating he was at a nudist colony, and he rode with this Jeff guy. There was just them in his car, and they were both in the front seat. He was cuffed, but they sort of just had like a bro to bro. They talked movies and talked family, and the FBI interrogator really made sure to harp on, how hard it must have been having a brother that went through that, and that, to give closure to families is so important, as your family must know. So we planted all these seeds, but it was pretty good. I enjoyed it, and so now I went and bought a $20 sandwich. So I don't even want to hear it. But I came back for lunch. I'm charging my phone. What am I missing right now? I missed Behind the Staircase documentary, the Black Dahlia case study, a canine detection demonstration, and 3. I'm probably going to miss these 2, but at 4:15, I'm probably going to go to the Richard the Iceman Kuklinski. I just did an episode about it. The violentization process. Or I could do the canine detection demonstration. That might be cool. Might be nice not to listen to just another speech. Also, after doing an episode on Kuklinski, I think the violentization process is just his dad. Like, that could be the whole speech. Like, they're just like, welcome. The violentization process is his dad. Thank you. And everyone just like hordes out to the next murder speech. Okay. I'm tired, but that's all right. Just going to keep going. Love you all. True Crime Loser out. Why? Starving why?